I'm Sam Clark, and today we're going to talk about my auto water changing system. I've got my SpectraPure RODI system that's fed by my tap water from the attic. We have a line that runs from the house over the garage, and it's insulated, so in the winter it won't freeze. And so I've actually tapped a line from the attic, you can see right here, and it feeds my RODI system. From there, the fresh water is pumped into this jug right here, which is also connected via a PVC pipe at the bottom to this jug. What this does, in essence, is gives me about 110, 115 gallons of fresh water RODI TDS0 anytime I need it. Also, because of the way that I have to dispense it, the pressure from the 110 gallons from here and here allows it to come out fast, so I don't have to wait. That's the first step of what I've got going on. I want to go ahead and show you how I fill my auto top-off canister and how I go ahead and make my salt water. And finally, I'm going to show you my liter meter 3 pump that's the heart of the auto water change system. I hope you enjoy, so sit back, relax, and I hope you get some great ideas. Here is the first step in my AWC. It's my SpectraPure RODI system. Initially it was a 5-stage system, and you can see right here where I've added actually a second DI resin container. You can see that I've piped a PEX line, PEX, from my attic, and it runs down with a switch right here. Once I turn on that switch, you can see my pressure is in the green. You can also see that I've got the wastewater filtered through my gutter system and just runs out into the driveway here. The clean fresh water runs into this first 55-gallon drum. It's actually outfitted with a float sensor. I use that as a backup. I usually remember that the water's on and I turn it off, but if I forget, the float sensor makes sure that I'm not spilling water into my garage. You can see here that I've plumbed a PVC pipe that connects the two with 2 bulkheads. I've got a ball valve here, and in case for any reason I need to empty this, I can go ahead and close this off, empty it, and leave this full of water. You can see the stand that I made. It should be able to hold any of the weight that the water poses. Finally, when I'm ready to dispense my fresh water, I have another ball valve here, and I've got a little bit of length of vinyl tubing, and you can see in just a second how that helps me fill up my 55-gallon drums. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. This is my freshwater drum. I'm going to eventually use Kalkwasser in this, but I haven't decided to do that yet. I'm just running fresh water through the auto top-off. It's not actually all that empty right now, but I want to go ahead and show you how this works. It's real simple. These 55-gallon drums have little screw tops. I actually have this screw top attached to a piece of polyethylene tubing that goes to the very bottom of the tank. That way I can get water to the very bottom. Actually, get it out from the very bottom. I'm just going to kind of set this to the side. And you can see my length of tubing right here. All I do is put it right there and turn this on. I don't know if you can see what kind of stream I've got, but it's a really good stream. Plenty of water going directly into the RODI system. Okay, that's not quite full, but it's pretty close. Okay, you can see here my fish room, but the most important part is over here. This jug right here is not in use right now, but you can see 3 separate lines, a white line, a blue line, and this red line right here. What this blue line is running to is this jug right here that I have titled NaCl, which stands for sodium chloride. It's basically salt. This is my saltwater tank, just to make sure that I keep it separate from my RODI tank. What I want to go ahead and do now is take this tank, go ahead and push it into place right here next to the white line, and kind of show you how this works. So when these 55-gallon drums are full of water, they actually weigh quite a bit, a little closer to 500 pounds. I've got casters on the bottom, each one rated at around 250 pounds, so 4 of them is equal to about 1,000 pounds that I can carry. At any rate, I'm going to scoop this into place over here. And you can see I've got this white line. I've decided to keep my white line for fresh RODI water. It makes sense. White is pure. The blue line here is for my salt water, and to me that makes sense. It's blue like the color of the ocean that has salt in it. And finally you can see my red line back here, and that's wastewater. It's red or danger or whatever. It's just something that's not white or blue. It just helps me keep them straight. I'm going to go ahead and use my push-to-fit bulkhead right here. And so now this jug is good to go. It's got about 55 gallons of water in it, and depending on what my evaporation in my display tank, which is 150 gallons, 160 gallons total system, plus some minus sand, rock, equipment. This can last me for maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I have to simply roll it out, fill it again, and roll it back in. Not a big deal. Certainly better than my 8-gallon tank that I had to fill every couple of days previously. You can also see here, this is my saltwater tank. What you can't see is that there's actually an extension cord coming out from behind right here, and that's actually going to my pump power head that's in here circulating the salt. I've read online a lot of different places where a lot of guys don't like to let their saltwater mixes sit, and I can totally appreciate that. For me, however, I use HW Marine Mix. It's a non-organic, totally synthetic salt mix. And in here, in this room, which is temperature controlled and constant circulation, I actually feel pretty comfortable letting it sit for up to a month if it's in use. Obviously, that's not going to work for every salt mix, and it may not work for you at all if you feel uncomfortable with that. But for me, the temptation to not have to do daily maintenance with the salt or weekly water changes, but I can still get the benefit of really continuous import and export of new fresh salt water minus the old nitrate and phosphate ridden salt water. I think it's a good choice for me. Finally, I'm going to show you this. You can see right there, that's actually a little 35-gallon tank, and that little red line that you see is actually my wastewater. To be fair, when you're doing continuous water changes at some point, the wastewater is a little less waste and more just part of the system. What I plan on doing with this particular wastewater is using it in my quarantine tanks, in my tank transfer tanks, and that. At a time where I don't really need any extra wastewater, I can certainly just siphon that out and dispose of it in any other way. Okay, so that's really the easy part here down on the ground. What I'd like to do is take you up into the attic and show you how I run my lines. So we're going to do that now. We'll start here on the ground. You can see all 3 of my lines, my freshwater, saltwater, and wastewater lines, and they converge into this 3/4 inch PVC pipe. I like the 3/4 inch PVC pipe as a conduit to run through the attic for a couple of reasons. Number one, it allows my PE tubing to have a little bit of protection against heat and cold, but most importantly, it gives my polyethylene tubing protection from insects and, more importantly, rodents such as mice or rats that might be attracted to whatever's in those tubes and chew on them, chew through them, and then I'd be in a world of hurt with some water leaking out through the attic. So this is just added insurance against that. You can see my excellent carpentry job of putting it through this slanted ceiling and into the wing of the attic. I'm going to go ahead and climb into the attic and show you where that exits, and then how I ran that through my attic. Okay, we are up above my fish room, and you can see here where that line comes through. That's my 3/4 inch PVC conduit, and it backs out, and there's another 45-degree angle there that kind of helps it run through the attic. You can see some old wires, some cable wires, but you can definitely see that 3/4 inch pipe, and then you can see it as it emerges on the other side of my ventilation, and you can see how it runs. I'm going to get a little bit of a different look so you can see how it continues. Okay, so this is above my great room, and you can see I use some couplers, and that brick right there is actually the brick to my fireplace, and that's actually where the PVC pipe dips back into the wall, and I'll show you where it exits. Okay, you can see the saltwater tank here. It is cycling. There is only microbial life right now, with some live sand and some rock. Here's my sump below, or at least the cabinets to the sump. And we can take a look and see where those 3 lines come out. Okay, here's the sump in action. I'm going to go ahead and show you where those lines come in. You can't see them super well, but there is a power receptacle right here behind this union, right behind it. You can see the outline of a power receptacle. That power receptacle is attached to a receptacle up above my tank behind the canopy, and that actually serves 2 purposes. Number one, it allows me to run power from my lights to an outlet that's above my tank without actually having to run them down through the walls and the wire. And number two, this receptacle in the wall actually acts as my outlet for my 3 lines. Again, you can't see them super good, but this first line right here is the freshwater line. And as you might imagine, it runs to an auto top-off system. I'm actually using an Avast auto top-off system with a diaphragm pump, and I really like that pump. It is powerful, it is inexpensive, it's reliable, and it's made by a company here in the United States, so all things that I like. Next, and part of my water change system, you can see right here, my 2 lines, I have my salt water that comes into my liter meter 3 pump, and you can see it goes out that little white line and into my return pump area. And then you can see the wastewater, and you can't see it because of the skimmer, but now you can. That is a remote pump that actually connects to my liter meter 3, and you can see where that occurs right here. This top line is the power line, and this line is where the remote pump connects, so that you can program it with your liter meter 3 to remove just the exact same amount of water that you pump in, so you keep everything nice and calibrated. And that pump is directed out to this white line right here. And I didn't have extra red, white, and blue line to keep it straight in the underneath the sump. However, it won't be difficult to get some new colored PE tubing to go ahead and keep it straight down here, and I plan on doing that. Anyway, you can see that white line goes here into the drain area. And I think that I think that makes sense, to pull from the most recently drained water and to pump into the area that's about to be pumped into the display tank. So that's it. That's how it works. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope that it's given you some ideas. Maybe not this exact setup, that's fine, but maybe take pieces from it and use it in your own tank. That's what I'm hoping for. I want you guys to leave comments, give feedback. If you've seen something silly that I've done that you're like, whoa, nobody in the right mind would ever do that, just let me know. I'll make a follow-up video and we'll correct anything we've done wrong. Catch me on Reef Central as TechStock77. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy your tanks and they bring you lots of joy. God bless.